Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. The issue of APC promises, agendas, propagandas, application of it and failing to also realize some of these promises have a strong one, as the Vice President of Nigeria has explained to Nigerians some of the keynotes some of the key points they promised Nigeria during their campaign and why it may not be realizable the ways they had promised. But Nigerians are actually not letting it lie low, as they have also taken the social media to also react their opinions as well over this matter. But in all, we look at it objectively to see if Vice President Yemi Osinbajo had made sense after all. Maybe we are just going to be carried away with the fact that it's an APC thing. But before we go into the news proper for the analysis, would you like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button? Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, the federal government is banking on private refineries to solve energy crisis. Yemi Osinbajo has reinstated the resolution of the Buhari administration that the federal government has no business running oil refineries in Nigeria. Speaking at a visual meeting organized for All Progressive Congress APC, social media bloggers and influencers at the ruling party secretariat in Abuja on Monday, the vice president indicated that the Nigerian government sees the private sector as playing a bigger role in investing in and running oil refineries moving forward, while arguing that the challenges confronting the government-owned refineries will persist if left in the hands of government. He said that government will continue to explore cheaper gas resources as an alternative. The vice president expressed confidence that the energy crisis in the country will ease by the first quarter of 2021, when most of the modular refineries would have come on stream. If the refinery is left in the hands of government, it will continue to experience the same problem it is experiencing now. I do not think that it is the business of government to run the refinery. It should be the business of the private sector, which is why we are trying to focus on assisting the private sector to develop modular refineries, he argued. Defending the decision of the federal government to hands off the running of the refinery, Professor Osinbajo said there is 100,000 barrel capacity refinery about to come on stream. We hope it will be next year. It is completely private and closely located near the Port Harcourt refinery, so that it can share the facilities of the Port Harcourt refinery. We are also hopeful it will come on stream in the first quarter of next year. There are also 6 modular refineries that are almost ready. There is the Niger Delta Petroleum Refinery in Delta State. There's another one in Imo State. There's also another modular refinery in Edo State. We engage the oil-producing communities to find a new vision for the Niger Delta, and we try to encourage modular refinery that will give the people in the oil-producing state a stake, so that the modular refinery is not just private, but the people there have some stake and equity. The whole idea is to support as many private refineries as possible. We are also waiting for the Dangote refinery with 250,000 barrels capacity, which is bigger than all of the government refineries put together. In the next 2 or 3 months, we will see the private sector playing a bigger role and things will quickly improve. We hope that this particular effort will complete the refurbishment of the refineries, which will be completed soon, but I'm more hopeful of the private effort being the key to the future, he assured. Speaking further, the vice president said, however, we have to focus more on our gas resources because there's no reason why we should have a cheaper energy source and we should not use such cheaper energy source. I believe that this is really the way to go. Nigerians are taking to the social media, to tell the presidency or the vice presidency or even the presidency as a whole what they feel about this latest development. Some of them are saying this was not part of the campaign promises made to Nigerians And some said that one of the campaign promises was 1 year, 1 refinery until it is being completed. That they wanted a situation where Nigeria is fully, in control of the oil sector and all that. Well, some of the campaign promises, some of them have not been fulfilled, like the issue of $1 to naira. But let's not go there. Let's go to the oil sector properly, as being said. But I'll just take 1 or 2 views about what Nigerians have said, but I also want to look at it critically I do not want to look at APC now. I don't want to look at APC. I don't want to look at PDP. I want to look at it objectively, and I think we should do same too. This one here is saying, after your government promised but failed or denied as usual to provide the new refineries, after failing to rehabilitate the old refineries, thereby constituting sources of economic wastage, why was the subsidy, term and other overhead costs being paid while they remain moribund? Let's be honest with ourselves for once. This is the same initiative someone suggested sometime, but this same government denounced it as corruption. So what has happened after many years? This one here is saying, all promises cancelled. This one here is saying, waiting for APC change. This is serious. This one here is saying, we expected change, but they did not give us the right change. This one here is saying, if only Yar'Adua had foresight, Obasanjo had already sold 2 of the refineries when it had value, only for Yar'Adua to reverse the sale. Today, no one will buy the refineries, and Dangote don't go buy him own. This one here says, when Jonathan was there, you cursed, abused him, and made fake promises. Now you understand the proverbial that it is easier said than done. You never can make real promises unless you have experienced it. Jonathan's government was way much better than the crap you guys are offering. All right, let's just quickly look at this objectively before we go back to what Nigerians are saying. Honestly, Nigerians are very, very, very angry because they believe that what was the difference between what they're doing now with what Jonathan, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan wanted to do in his dispensation, but they called it corruption, fraud. I could still remember that Loretta, during that time when the fuel was, I think, about 140 or 126 naira, but it wasn't even up to it wasn't even up to 140. I think it was just a bit higher than 100 naira, but I can't remember the exact price. Loretta took to his to the social media, to the street, and said it was criminal, it was 419, it was killing Nigerians, too high. But now the fuel has increased in a very serious, in fact, in the amounts that is 162, and probably may still increase before the refineries start functioning full scale. But then Loretta hits the street. But right now, Loretta is not hitting the street because she's part of the government. But let's look at this objectively. If you ask me, I don't think Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was wrong. If you ask me, he's very, very correct. Let's be objective. Anything you put in the hands of the government, let's leave APC, PDP now. Let's look at it objectively. If you have a private company and you want to recruit, give it to a private-owned human resource management to recruit, you may likely get the best hands because, one, there is no federal government character in that recruitment. They're going to follow the due process. They have the characteristics and prerequisites, the qualities they're looking for. If you do not qualify for it, whether your father is a senator or not, it doesn't matter. They won't recruit you. Typical example is the banks. The banks will never, if you like, let your father be the senator of one private person. If you are not qualified, if they're looking for maybe BSc holders, higher degree holders, and they're looking for those with experience higher, if you don't qualify for this, sorry, you are not going to be taken. Worst case scenario, they'll push you in another department which you are qualified for, which your pay will not go beyond that. Now, that's to give you an idea of how the private companies run their business. They're always profit oriented, they are result oriented, so they don't care whose end is being good. The most important thing is we are putting the roles, we are putting the qualities, we are putting the characteristics of the people we want, and we will not bend it on set to get the right quantity or quality of persons we are looking for. Now bring it down to the government owned. You can imagine sometimes you see federal agencies are recruiting, then you begin to hear things like federal character. Somebody who has third class will be given a job. Nigerians will go and apply. At the end of the day, when the interview will take place, Nigerians don't know. Next, you begin to hear things like there have been some certain persons have been recruited, even though the interview was not done. They give them offer letter without interview, simply because that federal character comes into play. And you begin to see that a typical example is Nitel, our telecommunication. I could still remember when Nitel was still up and running. Nitel will always have issues. There's always issues. It's either your lines have been tossed. There's always something that's always wrong with Nitel way back those days. But right now, when MTN came into play, Airtel and the rest came into play, they were able to tell Nigerians this can be done properly. You will not hear that the line has been tossed when it comes to MTN. And so Nigerians, ported to MTN and some of these private owned network because they were result oriented. They give you get value for your money. So it was just a matter of time. Nigerians left Nitel, later became MTEL. And before you say who goes, the MTEL folded simply because the bureaucracy of the government could not allow it to breathe. The federal character, a man, no man, I know you, shark is shark, did not allow it to flow. And if the refineries are also left in the hands of the federal government, like he rightly said, likelihood of it not producing what it wants and bringing square pegs and round holes in that place in the name of federal character will make the refinery not to work into full capacity. And at the end of the day, even the right people, the job employment that it will create, it will not even create the right enablement because the right persons who need the job will not be employed simply because they have the federal character might. The federal might come into play. But if it's given to private parastatals, just a matter of time, the right individuals who are well qualified will get good jobs. Stakeholders will benefit. Even the Nigerian citizens will also benefit because you get results, you get, pay, you get results for your quality services. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. What's your take on this? I feel that on this one, the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was right to allow the private sector to also have a key role in this so that at least for once, Nigerians will enjoy quality services. Let's put it in our comment section. Do you agree or do you disagree? Forget the fact that he's from APC. Look at the message. Look at it objectively. I feel it's correct, but you may be wrong. Your opinion may differ. Let's put it in the comment section. Let's interact. Don't also forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.